Hello, this is Michel Leviathan Sorbet and you are watching a new episode on the Wojennik TV YouTube channel. Today I would like to show you another unboxing, but an unboxing which is very special to me, something very interesting, something very important. This will be an unboxing of a game published on the Polish crowdfunding platform wspieram.to by the Polish company DAX Games. The game is called Triang Wars, and Wojennik TV was one of its mediatic patrons. Now, I am very proud to announce this final version of this game, and I would like to show you how the components of this title look like. Triang Wars was born in 2019, and I have already shown you this game on our channel while reviewing an early prototype of this title. Since then, the game evolved and it finally was made real thanks to the successful campaign on wspieram.to. The game is set in World War II, although it doesn't allow us to recreate any battle or operation of this conflict. It's a tactical war game using units from World War II fought on a map with triangle sectors. So this is a game using quite unique mechanisms, played with pieces, with magnetic pieces, which is also something quite unique. The game was designed by Paweł Licznerski and Łukasz Kaczanowicz. It is for 2 to 8 players, which should be 14 years old or higher. The time of play will be from 1 hour to 2 hours. It will depend on the number of players and on the scenario chosen. Today, a brief look at the components enclosed in the final box of Triang Wars. So let's begin this journey and take a look inside the box. Here is the box of Triang Wars, a tactical war game. Now, as I said earlier, I have already shown you the prototype of this game a few months ago. Now this is the final version, published thanks to the successful campaign on the Polish crowdfunding website wspieram.to. Now, as you can see, the box cover immediately transports us to the Second World War or to a modern conflict. The tank presented on the box cover is really very appealing. Now, on the second side, on the back of the box, we can see first of all what is the content of this box, because we can take a look at some of the elements, at the game map, at the cards, at some of the units. We can also verify what the game is all about. Then we have also the logos of the websites or of the partners who helped bring this game alive, and here it is, our own logo, Wojennik TV. I'm very proud that this logo is here, and I am very glad that this game had been made real. It's also a moment to say thank you to all the DAX Games team. We had great conversations during the campaign, and before launching this game on wspieram.to, I had the pleasure to review the prototype. We had a lot of email exchanges, of message exchanges. Each time it was very interesting and it helped this project to go forward. So a big thank you to all of you. Now let's take a look inside this box and let's verify how the final elements of Triang Wars look like. Here is the logo of DAX Games on the back of the game board, because the game board itself will be, as you can see, representing Europe before the start of World War II. So we have Germany bigger than today, we have Poland, which is much bigger thanks to its eastern boundaries. And as you can see, this map is divided into triangle sectors. Now, this board, although representing Europe, is really an abstract one, because those sectors, this background has no impact on gameplay. just for the purpose of having something which will represent a World War II theater. What is most important are the sectors, and those will matter during gameplay. Now, we also have some boxes where units will be stocked, for instance, those which are currently eliminated, those which are being recruited or which are being trained. And we have also a track on which we will be counting points accumulated by the players. Now let's take a look at the other elements. We have a manual, we have the rule book, which is not very long rule book because it has some 10 to 12 pages. It is a colored rule book on a high quality paper with some examples, with some graphic info additionally to the text. A well laid rule book because it is well structured. All the rules are separated, are being divided into some sections. The phases of the game turn are described one after another, and at the end we have also some additional information about some variants and also some thank yous where our logo is being presented as well as on the box. We have a nice addition to this game, which is one additional die. This die is not connected to Triang Wars in the way that it is not used during gameplay, but it's an addition to this wspieram.to version of the game. It can be used in any game you want in order to choose the first player. You just roll the die and you see the result, which will indicate which player should begin the game. For instance, this result will target the youngest player, and this player will begin the game. The most common or the most important element of those which are part of Triang Wars are those magnetic triangles. Those triangles will be placed on the game map on the board in order to track control of those triangle sectors. And as you can see, we have three nations in this box. We have the Americans, we have the US triangles, and the German triangles with the iron cross on them. All those triangles will be placed on the board in order to track control, in order to indicate control of some sectors. Each of those three armies will receive their own set of units, counters, also magnetic ones, so they will be nicely attached to the board while placed. Those counters will represent units, vehicles, and some additional info concerning, for instance, units who suffered some damage or over functions. We receive 2 dice, which will be rolled during gameplay. Nice plastic dice. Some additional magnetic counters used during gameplay to indicate some information on the board, and a set of cards. One of them will be the initiative cards used to indicate initiative, and then we also receive unit cards, because not only we receive the magnetic units to be placed on the board, each of those magnetic units will have a card connected to it, which will indicate its parameters, its attack value, its special capabilities, their efficiency in combat during different types of units. As you can see, we have some foot units, but we also some medic units, but we also have some officers and some vehicles, for instance the Stuka or the Tiger. So we really have a lot of interesting things like the V1, for instance. The Soviet units have the Katyusha, have the T-44, and a nice addition in this game is the fact that some of the soldiers represented on the game have photos of people who were who were involved in the development, in the production process of this game. And here is me. Here is a photo of myself as a Soviet foot soldier. So I'm present in this game not only through the logo inside the rulebook or on the box, I'm also inside here on one of the cards. Thank you, Dax Games. It was really cool to be part of this project. The Americans will also have some additional vehicles or some additional units. The Sherman will have also a carpet bombing card. The Willis will be present and some additional ones, as you can see. Nice pictures, really a lot of parameters on certain cards, but trust me, those are very intuitive and it's easy to use them. Those cards are of high quality. I have absolutely no doubt that they will be serving. They will be of a high quality, and they will enable us to play a lot of games before they use up. And that's it when it comes to the elements enclosed in the final version of the box of Triang Wars. Now let's pass on to a short conclusion. Browsing through the elements enclosed in the box of the final version of Triang Wars is real pleasure. Real pleasure because I had the privilege to see how the game evolved during the last months. I had the privilege to review an early prototype of this game, and believe me, the final version looks just outstanding. The pieces are really nicely done. The magnetic concept of this game, so the fact that we receive magnetic pieces, as I said at the beginning of this video, is something unique. I am happy that it was maintained in the final version of the game. I like the final artwork. It's really good. The early prototypes had artwork which was not very appealing to a potential buyer, to a potential player. Here we have really gorgeous pictures. I love, for instance, the V1 picture. I love the other vehicles pictures, and not to mention that some of the soldiers' silhouettes are persons which were involved in the designing and in the developing of this project. So the final version is really something quite pretty. It's really something which is really appealing to me. Now I will happily show you this game during a future review. I will also compare it to the early prototype so that you can see how this game evolved. This is also a moment to underline that this project, while evolving, was really the authors of its title took into consideration a lot of feedback given by people who had the opportunity to play the early prototypes. Dax Games were very active both on social media and during Polish conventions on which they presented their versions of Triang Wars, and a lot of people played this game, a lot of people like this game and have given some feedback to Dax Games. And I must underline that it should be something that companies should really take into consideration, and the path that Dax Games took while developing this project, in my opinion, is the correct one. They listened to people, they included changes that people were pointing out, and that's great because there's nothing better than a game made with feedback from people who will finally buy your game and play it. This is the way that things should be done. Chapeau bas Dax Games, really nicely done. This was an unboxing of the final version of Triang Wars from Dax Games. I will present you this game during a future review when I will also explain how the game works, what are its mechanisms. But until then, I invite you to look at our other videos. We have some reviews and some other unboxings. Have a fantastic day and see you next time.